Hi, this is Joe from Fox Media Lab. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the state of interpersonal communications and how it's taking a hit. Obviously, I'm alluding to the fact of the digital communication era interfacing with interpersonal communications, because before, interpersonal communications almost meant with your voice speaking to someone directly with you. Nowadays, it's just not the case. You can see two kids in the same room texting each other and not interfacing verbally. So interpersonal communications has evolved, or in some people would say devolved. We're now in a generation of always on, and if you have devices on, there's communications in some respect, either whether it's banking through a transaction or emailing, communicating with a business or a person, or texting, or using voicemail, or in some capacity communicating with somebody. So these devices represent evolution in communication. And it's often really not talked about. It's mentioned about the diminished attention spans of new communicators, mainly young people that have grown up on this technology. In fact, there was some statistics that were generated that states the average attention span in 2013 was only 8 seconds. Ironically, that was the amount of time back 20 years ago that we designed to have advertising space to be used on the internet, was 8 seconds. And it's just ironic that here it is 20 years later, 2013, that they wouldn't have watched any longer if that format existed today. The average attention span in 2000 was 12 seconds. So, I mean, that's a 50, which is disgusting anyways, but it's a 50% reduction in attention span. I mean, this means a lot to the marketers that use the internet and devices and interpersonal communications through social media and other respects that were at one time from person to person. Now it's person to person, it's just through an electronic digital device. The study also says that the average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. So, I mean, that's to say that a twit will have a longer attention span than the average attention span as of 2013. Percentage of teens who forgot major details of close friends and relatives, that was 1/4 of them. But, you know, that's not a striking percentage, because I know I'm probably not much better than that. But I think I'm on the other end of the curve. The percentage of people who forgot their own birthdays from time to time is 7%. The average length watched of a single internet video, and I'm assuming that this is also for 2013, was 2.7 minutes. And it gets into things that I would consider analytics for internet websites and entertainment sites and marketing sites to capture people's attention and create a buying situation or something like that. But getting back to interpersonal communications, is you often will see that there is more learning disabilities nowadays, and youngsters are having trouble communicating with one another, and things like alienation and even suicide is at an all-time high, and this is because of the lack of communications or the shared communication with community at large. The only way that or much of the ways that are being used now is purely electronic, and it's creating some strains on interpersonal communications of what is appropriate, what isn't appropriate, and things of that nature. Is the internet destroying attention span? I don't think it's been a great aid to make people be more communicative to one another. Here's an article in eggcognitive.com where it talks about people are addicted to the internet have short attention spans. I think this is across the culture, for the most part, or at least all the culture that is using electronic and digital communication, is that our attention spans have gotten shorter because our access to information is so readily available that if we're not entertained or stimulated in some way quickly, that we can move on to another factoid or something else that will capture our attention. Also, social media has had a lot in destroying our attention because all of a sudden, instead of formulating our communications inside our head and creating a communication entree for someone to interact with, is we're often reacting to other people's comments and communications. And also, it seems like they have been trivialized. To know where somebody is at 10 o'clock at night and what they're doing, watching a movie or something like that, means that what is interesting today isn't the same thing that was interesting when I was growing up or long ago. We're at about 7 minutes, and this is a continuing study, so we will revisit this occasionally. If you notice, this is one of my first videos, and I'm going to get better, so I hope you hang in there. I'm going to try to keep them all under 8 minutes, even though your attention span is only 8 seconds.